Hello dear Golden Retriever lover and friend. It's Martina from Golden Retriever Happiness and Golden Retriever Puppy Training. Yesterday I went to see a Golden Retriever who was suffering from a severe case of stare fright. Stare fright is a not very unusual condition by which the dog is actually afraid of walking up or down staircases. This is usually caused by an accident when the dog has slipped and fallen down the staircase and hurt himself. And this is what actually happened to the Golden Retriever I went to see yesterday, because his very unhappy owner just felt he couldn't cope with the problem any longer and called me in for help. As I went there, I found a very friendly, very nice 4-year-old golden male, and his owner told me that whenever he needed to go down some staircases, his dog would not be able to follow him, and he would stand at the top of the staircase crying, and he just couldn't walk down the stairs because he was so frightened. And the cause of all this had been an accident, or rather 2 accidents, when as a young dog this golden slipped, fell, hurt himself, and then from that concluded that walking downstairs was very dangerous and that you shouldn't really do it if you wanted to survive. There was no problem with walking up the stairs, but walking down the stairs. So I encouraged the man to walk his dog up the stairs so that I could see how the dog would actually react about walking down the stairs. And so the man didn't want to do this, but I still encouraged him to do it, and eventually he followed my advice and walked his dog up the stairs, and then he himself came down the stairs again. Now the dog just couldn't walk down the stairs. He was standing up there, putting his front paws 2 steps down, started to whinny, started to bark, wag his tail, and was doing his very best to actually overcome his fear. I then tried to help the owner by making him aware of his own feelings, of upset, and his own feelings that the dog would never walk down the stairs, his own conviction that this is now a situation which could not be solved, because it is usually so that the owner's belief corresponds with the dog's behavior. Well, my owner just couldn't see the point in this, and whatever I tried, he just wouldn't do it. I tried to help him overcome his own fear. I tried to make him see that it was his own fear that kept his dog stuck in that place, and he just wouldn't do it. So in the end, after 1 hour 30 minutes, he finally walked up the stairs, picked up his dog and carried the dog down, and was full of, I shouldn't have followed your advice, and I shouldn't have done what you said, and now things are getting very bad and everything is worse. The point is that this owner has got a very strict belief system that his dog will never overcome his fear of walking down the stairs. And this belief system was made worse by his belief that his dog shouldn't get upset, that he must do everything possible to prevent his golden to get upset, to hype himself up, and to become nervous. Now, what is the root behind all this? This poor man has lost 2 dogs in the past due to sudden and unexpected things that happened. The first dog, he just had a heart attack or something and he died, and the second dog, he died probably from poisoning, but it was never clear. was it a poison, had he been poisoned or whatever. And from this the person had concluded that the dog's life is very frail, and that a dog is very frail and the dog must not be upset, and if you upset the dog will then die. So there he was with his dog, and the dog was stuck on top of the staircase, afraid of walking down the stairs, and he was afraid of confronting his dog with this fear and making the dog walk down the stairs. So the dog was stuck in this fear of walking down the stairs, thinking, if I walk down the stairs, I'm going to fall, I'm going to hurt myself. And the man was there, couldn't actually do anything about it, because he was thinking, excuse me, if I make my dog walk down those stairs, my dog will get so upset that my dog will suffer a heart attack and die. Now the normal thing that could have been done was put on a harness on the dog and get hold of the dog and slowly walk him down those stairs, giving him the confidence that me, your daddy or mommy is with you, and I hold you, and I will walk you down those stairs. And by that the dog would have noticed eventually that he was not going to fall down those stairs again, and that all was well, and that he was now able to actually cope with walking down the stairs. This is what I had intended to teach the owner, but what I hadn't seen was that the owner was so full of fear of losing his dog, of the really irrational fear of losing his dog, that he couldn't actually follow anything I suggested. And he got very upset, and he also got very angry with me. So, needless to say that I left with feelings that were not very positive, thoughts, had I made mistakes, what had I done wrong, should I have done it any different. But I realize that this owner is so afraid of losing his dog that this fear is actually crippling him, and he cannot move and he cannot do anything. And the dog is so stuck in this too that the pair of them, they are like mother and child, where the mother is always afraid that something bad will happen to the child, and the child picks up on this fear and never dares to climb a tree, or never dares to roller skate, or never dares to face any kind of fear. Because sometimes when we're stuck in a fear, we just have to get on with it and do it. Phobias are things where, or emotional conditions, they're not things, they're emotional conditions whereby small things become very dangerous in our minds. And so we start avoiding those small things, we don't confront them anymore, and by doing that they become even bigger and bigger and bigger and create even more and more and more and more fear. And the behavioristic approach to solving those fears and phobias is actually to confront them in very, very, very little and very, very small steps, to retrain your brain to become less sensitive to the clues and to create less feelings of panic. There's another way of dealing with fears and phobias, and that is the more energetic approach, which is used in EFT, emotional freedom techniques, or meridian tapping techniques, where you actually desensitize yourself before you face the stimulus that causes you to go phobic. Anyway, what I needed to know from this golden retriever owner was, how did he behave towards his dog? And he showed me this beautifully, but he also showed that he was not willing at all to confront his fears, to confront his inner states, to confront his inner pains, and to make his dog confront his fear of walking down the stairs, which would have been necessary for the dog to get a new experience. So, unfortunately, there was nothing I could do for this dog and for his owner, and that makes me very sad, because there are good ways of retraining the traumatized mind, of retraining dog and owner to actually overcome fears and phobias and lead a happy life again, to overcome the crippling fears and lead a happy life again. And I thought, I'd like to share this with you today to encourage you that in case your dog has some crippling fears, like the fear of walking downstairs, or the fear of going into an elevator, a lift, or the fear of going into a car, climbing into a car, or let it be the fear of a horse or something, that you look at yourself and you think about it. What are my feelings concerning my dog's fears, and what are my own experiences? And to actually look at yourself first before you can look at your dog, because it's always us as the owners who have to overcome our fears, who have to overcome our limiting beliefs before we can actually help our dogs overcome their feelings, overcome their fears, because it is us who tell our dogs, you are safe with me. And if I don't trust myself, and if I am afraid of my dog's fear, and if I think everything is going to go wrong and my dog is never going to make it, then my dog can never trust me. So I would just like to encourage you to look inside yourselves and to think about yourselves and the way you deal with your dog's problems, and to realize that it is inside your own mind, and that dog training is always and foremost training yourself. If you want to help your golden retriever to overcome aggressions or to overcome fears and phobias, it is always you who needs to be calm and collected in those situations. And there are very good ways of actually helping yourself calm down in upsetting situations, and one of them is what I showed the upset owner yesterday, and that was just put your hand on top of your head and wait a few seconds and wait a minute or two, and you will notice that the stress level goes down and that you calm down. And with calming down, you then give your dog the message that all is well, and you actually help your dog to calm down too. This is what I showed the owner yesterday, and the owner did this too, and he just felt his stress level go down, but then he just wouldn't bear with me, and he just got back into action and got back into his fears, and he wouldn't allow me to guide him through the process of calming down, to guide him through the process of de-stressing himself so that he could de-stress his dog. And the first thing is, you need to calm yourself, you need to de-stress yourself before you can actually help your dog. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, and I wish you a very happy time with your golden puppy or with your grown-up puppy. And why not send me a comment, why not post a question about this subject? I'd be very happy to answer it, and create a video or create a blog post answering your questions. So please feel free to send me an email at martina@goldenretrieverpuppytraining.com, and I'd be very happy to answer you. And because there are so many dogs suffering from all sorts of fears and phobias, why not share this video with your friends and family? It doesn't need to be owners of golden retrievers, because this is a worldwide dog problem. And I think just knowing that You can help your dog in a stressful situation by de-stressing yourself, by just putting your hand on top of your head. That's a very simple and very effective tool, so I think it's worth sharing. So that's all from me for now. Give your puppy a hug and a kiss and a cuddle and have a wonderful time.